Hello, Larry at the land here. And again, I'm not actually at the land. Where I'm at today is at a farm that belonged to my family when I was growing up. And it's not my farm, but I still do have a relationship with it. And I wanted to show y'all a few things around the farm, but also a couple of future projects that I may be working on at my land. So hang with me and enjoy the tour. This is a cool old farmhouse that's been here for 100 years. It's something that I grew up with. And this old tree, there used to be a swing hanging off of that limb, just chains and a 2x6. Some of these are pecan trees. They're easily 100 years old as well. So let's walk around and I'll see what else we can find. Okay, so this is the old farmhouse. We actually never lived here. We always had renters that lived here, but I wanted to just show you around. I won't be able to have access to this place forever, so I wanted to document some of it. So this is the front room. The wood floors just blow my mind. Some of it's been redone. This is just probably a bedroom, clearly redone, possibly in the 1970s. And then this is the back bedroom, ceiling redone, seen better days. These small closets. This was originally the back of a house. Now there's a little porch back there. This has been completely redone. There's actually a window behind that. I remember when we had it redone, but this is the old one and only bathroom. Original kitchen, not original countertops. I think there used to be a place for a stove over here. Maybe not. This would have been, I guess, like a dining room. There's where we came in over there. And then a lot of these old houses had this little front room here that had its own door out to the front porch. Very cool. Again, this house is over 100 years old. This is in Central Texas. Probably pretty common for the area back in the day. Okay, we're gonna walk over here towards where the old barns are. Look at the size of this tree. I mean, I don't think you can really get the scale. It's easily 4.5 feet across. I don't know what kind of tree this is. Somebody knows. Put it in the comments. Probably an oak tree or a pecan tree. That's what 99% of the trees are out here. So my rancher has put up a fence. That's good and bad all at the same time. So I don't want to mess up his fence, but he's been letting cows graze, which is really, really nice. Let me check another gate. All right, this is an old shed built on top of the old well. And I don't know if I can get a good shot down here, but this thing is really cool. It's a shallow well. So it's sort of terrifying to think about this, but that's a hand-dug well. It's brick-lined, and when I was a kid, we used to lower my dad down there with some sort of A-frame contraption, and he would clean out the bottom of that well with a bucket and a small shovel. Yeah, I'm not that brave. All right, so I managed to get through the gate. I have to put that back. So here's an old trailer. It is not much of a project. I'll leave that for somebody else, I think. Over here is a tractor. So this tractor, I kind of know this tractor well. My dad bought this tractor and we actually painted it at our house in town. So this is a Farmall C. I have a Farmall H. This tractor is like 3/4 the size of my C. I also have kind of a bead on a Farmall M, which I believe is even bigger than the H. But this tractor ran until something went wrong with the electrical system and somebody tried to fix it that didn't know what they were doing. It wasn't me. And it ultimately got towed back here. The last time I checked, the engine seemed like it was locked up, but I bet this thing could be made to run again. May not look like it, but the tires are in really good shape. I bet with tubes, they would hold air. This does not have hydraulics. It does have, I don't know what you call these, but it has these things on the sides that would be used to raise things up, and those don't work. They never did. The power takeoff works, but those didn't work. But I'm sure it's still 6 volt. I don't know a lot about this. That may still be the magneto system. No, it had an alternator, never mind. It had an alternator on the other side. And so maybe instead of hydraulics, this, no, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know a lot about this thing, but maybe this will be mine someday. Technically, it's already half mine. I would have to negotiate with the other half and figure out how to get it to our land, which is about 3-ish hours away from here. These old barns are really, really cool. They all have a similar design. There's a raised area in the back, so there's a floor back there. And then they had these troughs where they would feed the livestock. This old barn, still standing. I'm sure it's 100 years old or close to it. This old barn has always been one of my favorites. So again, there's an upstairs behind those slats, would have been a hayloft. And then again, this would have been a feeding area with these troughs. You can see some old, those are, I guess, saddle, I don't know what you call it, the belt that goes under the horse. And who knows what else is in here. All this old junk in here, bunch of old T-posts and some kind of, I don't know what that is. Some big tanks, refrigerator. This is the old tractor shed. When that tractor was running, it used to live in here. So there's a bunch of lumber here. I'm sure it's really good. There's some old bee boxes here, beehives. This whole building has got a pretty significant lean to it, so the doors are kind of impossible to open. So I've thought about coming and trying to get a bunch of this lumber, but I'd have to bring it out stick by stick because there's no way to get those doors open any wider. And then again, this used to be where the tractor was parked, and an old freezer. I don't know, who knows what's buried in here. This is an old pickup bed, short bed, I believe. Maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, the tailgate's actually at my house. This would have been the generation before my pickup, so I don't know the exact years, but 66 all the way back to, I don't know, 64, 63, I don't exactly know. But this is that style before mine. 2 generations before, like a square body. Okay, I switched cameras because mine ran out of storage. I didn't plan ahead. This is on a different camera. So this is that pickup bed. I think I got most of that in there. Still got the frames. My dad was gonna make a trailer out of this. Looks like it still has the carrier bearing and I guess part of the frame where the cab would sit. So a lot of guys would take these and make trailers out of them. Over here, under this metal, is just a shredder, a brush hog, or whatever. Tires probably hold air, or maybe they will. I might want to grab that one day. And then I don't know a lot about this vintage of equipment. But I had a guy come show me what all this stuff was. So this is actually a contraption they would drag. These days you'd use a box blade, but it basically scrapes up dirt, kind of collects it in this round sort of barrel shaped part, and then you could pull a rope and it would flop it back out. It might be called a Fresno. I don't know. Somebody out there knows, let me know. So here's, I guess, an old plow, maybe a disc. They're all buried in the ground. Here's some more plows. Actually, that's not a disc, that's a plow. There's some more plow blades. Again, more equipment. This might be equipment that mounted on a tractor, like a 3-point or those side mounts like that tractor has. This is a disc. My dad used to use this. Look at all the railroad irons that they used for weights. I don't know how much one of those weigh. Does anybody know how much a railroad iron weighs per foot? Because I see 1, 2, 3 there. It's interesting, there's different gauges there. That middle one's smaller. So there's 3 there, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 there. I wonder what that weighs per foot. They're probably 18 inches long. And then here's another disc, using an old 6-cylinder head as weight for that one. That's pretty cool. This is one of those, I guess, I don't understand it. It goes at sort of an angle. Somebody out there knows. Some kind of a bucket, and then yet another disc of some sort. I don't know, another bucket. I don't know exactly. Yeah, there's it's hard to see. There's some discs in there. Okay, well, thank you for joining me. A little tour of the land, maybe a few future projects here. I'd like to bring that tractor home, maybe some of these old implements, that shredder for sure. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this kind of video, this may be more what I would typically do. If you like this, consider subscribing. Like the video if you liked it. Tell your friends. I appreciate your help. So thanks again. This is Larry at the Land.